Hello, and welcome back to the Faye Banner Review, where we talk about IS never giving Shadows of Valentia content. Oh my god, they gave Shadows of Valentia content. Today, we have a brand new Shadows of Valentia banner featuring everyone's long-awaited edition Nuibaba. And some other chumps, but nobody cares about them. And as per tradition, I will be using this coveted line graph that may or may not be a line graph at the end of the day to rank the brand new Shadows of Valentia banner. Today's ranking will be based on my mood. I'm sure you could guess how I feel right about now, and if you like to be in a good mood, then make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, because when I'm happy, you're happy. And when I'm not happy, I don't know, I guess I'm sad and stuff. Give me subs, give me subs, give me subs, give me subs. First up, we have Nuibaba, and she's our latest and samest rearmed unit. She's a blue tome unit, which, it means she's a blue unit, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Nuibaba comes with Arcane Medusa, which comes with Slang, Stats, True Stats, even more True Stats, Stats that work with AoEs, a special jump of 1, and at the start of each turn grants herself Anathema, which is even more stats. She also comes with Mounting Fear, which inflicts panic, exposure, and deep wounds at the start of the turn to anybody with less res than her and on foes within 2 spaces of the target, inflicts attack and res penalties during combat, grants 20% res-based true damage, reduces pierceable damage reduction by 50%, and Bane, which is some weird damage calculation thing that deals a set amount of damage, except it can also be reduced by damage reduction skills, so it's not really a set amount of damage, so in reality she's most likely not doing that much damage with it. And Bane also can't kill units because of HP shenanigans, and I'm done trying to understand what the skill does. With how Faye is at this point, if the forecast doesn't show me defeating a unit, then that's all that really matters in the end. She is going to struggle big time. At least the Arcane is really cool since it has special jumps and true damage reduction, just like Arcane Blood Gang and Arcane Truthfire and Arcane Giant Axe and Arcane Sly Knife and Arcane Fell Arts, and this joke stops getting repeated when IS leads by example. At least Arcane Medusa has Anathema instead of anything remotely useful, so that's something unique, I guess. That said, a lot of people might be wondering if Devoted Cup is worth using over this Arcane, so let me break it down for you real quick. The Arcane gives 15% of your own attack as true damage, and in order for you to match Devoted Cup, you would need about 167 attack, which no unit can do naturally, but the trade-off is special jumps and more stats and true damage that works with AoEs and slaying and true damage reduction, and generally better matchups against more units. However, the cup is funnier. I choose Devoted Cup. She also comes with Iceberg, Sly Mirror, and Times Pulse Helm, which is Times Pulse 4 that grants attack and res during combat. Yeah, it's pretty decent. At least she has the benefit of being a rearmed unit, which means you could keep her after using her for inheritance, and they're pretty good attack and res boosting skills if you happen to like skills that boost attack and res. If you read the descriptions, they're pretty good if you like reading descriptions. I'm not continuing this bit. And other than that, that sure is Nuibaba. I think it's really funny that they chose her to be the next rearmed unit out of anyone else in the cast. Not that I'm against it, of course, but the last thing I expected was for it to be Nuibaba of all characters. Never mind, I see the vision. Next, there's Nomah, and he's old. That doesn't really contribute anything to the video, but I thought I'd point it out anyway. Let's see. Nomah comes with Prior's Tome, which is a slaying tome that grants guidance to any ally within 2 spaces, as well as 5 attack and res penalty nullification, and 7 HP after combat, as well as allowing any ally to teleport to Nomah if he's near an Aether Rage trap. While Nomah himself gets a bunch of attack and res bonuses, attack and res penalty nullification, res-based true damage, a guaranteed follow-up, and 7 HP after combat. I see. You see, it sounds like I see, but with Z, and I was obligated to put this in the video. When you combine all of these effects into a weapon called Prior's Tome, you end up with a really mediocre unit. Yeah, it's not like he's bad per se. Okay, well, he's kinda bad, but it's not like he's unusable. You don't want to use him at all. It's not like, there are other units that can do what he does, right? I don't think any other unit wants to do what he does. I like the condition for his map-wide warp gimmick because it's super specific, which makes it kind of fun in my eyes. He has to be near a trap, which isn't the hardest thing to do, but you're effectively sending an old man out to die, especially since he doesn't grant pass or anything, so the chances of an ally being able to even warp in isn't guaranteed. Nomah? More like no. Just no. Nomah also comes with Glacies, Pulse Ploy, and what's this? Seal Attack Res 3? Ah yes, you shouldn't have. You actually shouldn't have. Why are these skills still a thing? I love when IS puts filler skills in the normal pool because it's always something nobody actually wants to use. It's not like these units won't ever have good skills at all, but it has to be in tandem with something bad usually. Not to mention rarely a full kit because most of the good stuff is reserved for the limited time banners. But hey, it could be worse, right? No. And other than that, that sure is Nomah. He seems like a funny Aether Raids unit at least, but funny doesn't really equal good. It doesn't equal bad either, so I probably shouldn't be calling him funny. He's just bad. And then there's Jesse, and he's a generic infantry sword, but newer, I guess. And voiced by Mick Wingard on top of it too. Awesome voice actor. Man, if I had a nickel for every time Mick Wingard voiced an infantry sword demote, I would have... The joke was never funny. Let's see. Jesse comes with Hexblade Sword Plus, which grants Hexblade in terrain nullification at the start of the turn, as well as attack-based true damage and +5 to attack, speed, defense, and res during combat. Did you expect anything else? He's a generic demote. But wait, doesn't that sound kinda familiar? I bet it does, because it's none other than Nabata Lance Plus. Except it's stronger. Power Creep has hit the mediocre inheritables, as this is better than Nabata Lance because it grants Spectrum 5 instead of Spectrum 4. Is this the hill I'm really gonna die on? At least we have other options now other than Doubler Sword Plus, and we are really struggling on sword options. Jesse also comes with Moonbow, Speed Defense Ideal, and Repel.
I don't really want this.
At least Moonbow's still okay, I guess. As for something I can actually talk about, with Jesse and Nomah getting in, this means we have every playable character in the game in some capacity, which is really awesome. At least when ignoring the Cypher DLC, but IS doesn't want to acknowledge them. This makes it the second entry to have every playable character in the game, the first being Awakening. And you know what they say about Awakening? Nothing, and thank God for that. And other than that, that sure is Jesse. I liked when he procs his special and he says, "No more Jessin' around," and he the enemy. I'm moving on now. And finally, we have Alm, and he's our latest and not samest attuned unit. You know, this is the first time in a while where SOV had a whole banner to themselves. The last time we had a Shadows of Valentia banner with no OCs on it was back in Book 3. Haha, I'm old. I feel sad now. Let's see. Alm comes with True Bond Bow, which is a slang flying effectiveness bow that allows him to warp within 2 spaces of any ally within 2 spaces of him, grants 2 attack and speed great talent, as well as 1 to 2 pulses based on the current special count to himself and allies at the start of each turn, gets a bunch of stats during combat, up to 30 true damage and true DR based on how much great talent, attack, and speed he has, and gets 7 post-combat healing. He also comes with a PRF special and True Lunar Flash, which is a 3 cooldown special that's essentially a 35% based moonbow that also boosts his damage by 35% of his speed, nullifies damage reduction, and prevents the foe from proccing their special on top of 40% first hit damage reduction if the special is charged or goes off during combat. He seems like a really solid nuke overall, but I have to ask, is it good enough? He can disable specials and Shield Fighter, which is great, yeah, but can you tell me what common armors are running Shield Fighter? Doesn't count, doesn't count, doesn't count, doesn't count. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm not acknowledging him. Honestly, the only part that I don't really care for is the great talent scaling since it's really slow, but that's just how great talent is in general. At least he'll start out with 10 true damage and damage reduction since he gets 2 attack and 3 speed from his kit, so at the very latest, it will only take up to 3 turns. But it's not like there's a mechanic in the most played game mode that allows him to charge up until turn 3, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. I hate this thing. Alm also comes with perfect attack speed, speed taker, and 2 new inheritables in Pulse on Blades and Lol Echo. Pulse on Blades gives attack and speed during combat and a special jump of 2 on a unit's follow-up attack. Meanwhile, Lol Echo inflicts penalties on every stat based on the total amount of active bonus effects and disables visible bonuses during combat. These are pretty cool skills. I don't know how often Pulse on Blades will be used over other things, but it's nice to have it as an option at least. However, it is with a heavy heart that I announce that Deathblow Echo has been power crept. There is now officially no reason to use this Echo skill. Unless you like using Peek. Deathblow Echo was always good, fight me. Other than that, that sure is Alm. He can hit hard and shoot things and he can worry more. There's also Jedah. He sucks. We didn't get a data mine or anything, but we do have the Meet the Heroes information. And Jedah comes with a crab tome, which essentially means he has no PRF. We don't know what the weapon does yet, but it's not saving him at all. The tome will probably suck too.
Crab.
And now that we've gone over the brand new Shadows of Valentia units, I think it's time we rank the banner on the line graph that may or may not be a line graph at the end of the day. And would you look at that? The brand new Shadows of Valentia banner has earned an 8 out of 10 on the line graph. What a great score for a banner I like the banner. And you may be wondering to yourself, where the hell did my orbs go? And oh boy, do I have news for you. They were spent on a better banner. As much as I like Shadows of Valentia getting more content, I can't really say the banner is all that great. The only notable unit here really seems to be Alm, and while he is good, I don't think he's game-breakingly good to the point where you have to get him, unlike other units. That said, if you do end up going for Alm, he will most likely perform pretty well. The rest of the banner units are frauds. Also, the fodder isn't really worth going out of your way for, TBH. 2BH. To be quite H. We also have a Hero Rises running currently, which will probably help you out a lot more than this banner and an emblem banner. Wait, no, sorry, it's maybe an emblem banner, because the calendar doesn't specify it now. It's definitely an emblem, let's be real. You might want to save your orbs for those banners instead, and if neither really appeal to you, then just keep saving then, you moron.
Worry more!
Thanks for Shadows of Valentia content I will not be summoning.
Then why did you ask for it?